Okay, Rob. So symbols, semiotics, religion, and theology.
Okay. Well, in the risk and safety world, of course, we know there's no study of religion. And yet I've never seen an industry more religious than the risk and safety industry, particularly because the nature of saving lives is a form of soteriology. Now, when you study theology and religion, the study of soteriology is the study of salvation. And it's a very little hop, skip, and a jump from safety to saving to salvation. And so risk and safety believes in its ability to save people. It uses all the metaphors of religion when it talks about saving people. And it has a ideological God called Zero that apparently saves people, and it worships Zero religiously. Now, in Australia, we understand that you can worship your football team religiously. We understand that you can participate in Olympic sport religiously. We understand that you can go to the Summernats in Canberra and worship your car religiously. There is no difference between that understanding of religion and how the safety industry cultivates safety as a religion. And so people undertake safety religiously. And if I dare criticize safety, I get all this barrage of religious comment back about how dare I criticize safety. And this is because safety has become a cultic religious activity. And so any criticism of safety is anti-safety. And the metaphors, the language, the paralinguistics, the artifacts, all of these critical parts of the risk and safety industry have been made sacred over a period of time. And so we worship Zero, we worship the Swiss cheese, we worship the pyramid, we worship, well, I don't, but the safety industry does. It makes all these artifacts foundational to a risk assessment, such as a risk matrix, which of course is not scientific, has nothing to do with risk, but it's a myth believed by the risk and safety industry to affirm a belief which has no foundation. The risk matrix is just a pure myth. You could get rid of it. It would make no difference at all to a risk assessment anywhere. You could get rid of Heinrich's pyramid. You could get rid of bow tie. You could get rid of dominoes and all that crap. But it's all been made so culturally essential through a religious belief that you now can't get rid of it.
And it's almost puritanical, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the
Yeah.
power.
So,
That's the power of mythology. That's why myth and religion and semiotics and symbols are connected to this. So you go to any archaeologist, any anthropologist, any ethnographer, any cultural studies expert who go into a group, and the first things they look for are the myths and the religious beliefs. The things that are believed that are not scientifically or factually true, but they're believed semiotically and made true, then worshipped every Anzac Day, even though not one skerrick of that is true. And you can watch people put their red poppies, right, on the statue of Simpson and the donkey. And of course, the red poppies are from France, right?
mm,
Putting on a donkey, which was in Gallipoli in another
in
part
Turkey,
in Turkey, right? And this is what the myth does. So once something's been made symbolically true, then it's easy to captivate a group and then rally around the group around that mythical symbol. The swastika is a classic. The whole of Germany was rallied round the swastika, and it became the mythical truth of the Aryan warrior. Of course, there is no such thing as an Aryan race. It was an invented. It is completely false. There is no anthropological evidence for an Aryan race, but Hitler made it true. That's no different than Donald Trump making something true these days simply because he says it is. And all of this is contained in risk and safety. If I keep repeating over and over and over, safety is a choice you make, then that slogan becomes a truth.
Yes. And it might be interesting to point out to people that aren't from Australia that at Gallipoli, we actually lost the battle.
Oh,
we're celebrating a loss, not a win.
Yeah, correct. It's like the myth of in our culture, there's no one in Australia who doesn't know who Ned Kelly is. An Irish bushranger who killed 2 policemen and then robbed banks and committed crimes and is worshipped as a hero.
Yeah, it's amazing what we can do with that religiosity.
Yes, and the myth of Ned Kelly is astounding. Go to any northern Victorian town today, anywhere stretching from Bendigo up to the border or down. I mean, probably an area of 2,000 square kilometres. And you can go to any town in that 2,000 square kilometres and there'll be a statue or a head of Ned Kelly anywhere in a shop, or it'll be a letterbox so that the little slit in his head's used as a letterbox and so on. I mean, I've got 3 statues of Ned Kelly in my garden. So this is understanding the connection between mythology, myth, symbol, semiotics, poetics, text, linguistics, and artifacts. And this is what safety does. It invents stuff that's not true. Then we have a global safety conference where zero is made the centerpiece of the conference. It's a belief. It's an ideology. It's not true. Ask any mathematician or any scientist what zero is, and they'll tell you what it is. Zero, a mathematician will tell you that zero and infinity are the same thing. So we've got all these people at a safety conference worshipping infinity. My goodness me, does that sound like God? But we make fun of people in the church who worship infinity. But when we come to safety, we can worship infinity. This is what you call cultural mythology, and it's believed religiously, and it's the centerpiece of risk and safety. And if you watch watch their video, The Spirit of Zero, mate, that is a Pentecostal movie.
We could go on. MBAs, exactly the same thing, that we build up a bunch of myths that this is the only way to run an organisation.
Of course.
Yeah. Of
course. Yes. It's just the context of this is in MBAs, it's part of believing your own lies, Safety does the same thing. Just believe your own lies. And then you call it science when it's not. And then you believe it because somehow, because James Reason invented some concocted stupid Swiss cheese idea that accidents occur in some linear fashion that you can stop by blocking up one of the holes in the Swiss cheese. I mean, really, could you be so nonsensical? Real life is chaotic, non-systematic, non-linear, and yet safety goes running around with this stupid semiotic myth. Oh, yes, look at this, all actions occur in some linear fashion. Wow. So, and yet it's embedded now in safety culture and it's believed mythically. Well,
excellent. Let's leave it there, Rob. That's